preparing this recording. This time here with Hernan Chopert. He returned recently from the desert, where he has been working very hard. Yep. Hello, Hernan. How are you doing?
Hello, doing great. Long time since my last episode here, but willing to comment and be able to participate. And thanks for the invitation again. It's an honor.
Yeah, I know you are. I know you are getting married, and this should be a very important time in your life.
Oh yeah, of course.
So thank you for taking your time. And this month we have a special episode, not only because we are going to talk about very interesting PHP topics, but we are going also to talk about the winners of the Innovation Award, the PHP Innovation Award that is organized by the PHP classes, and that is what you may see here. Let me pick a trophy so you can see it very closer. This is the trophy for the winner of 2014. The winners will get. We'll talk more about this ahead, but the winners will get a trophy that is a symbol of what they won, and they also get the elephant plush mascot that is behind. The other trophies that you may see there are for the winners of the country that won. In this case, it was Italy, but we'll get back to that ahead. Now we're going to start talking about the regular set of PHP topics, things that have been happening in the latest month. So we are going to start by the usual releases of PHP. Basically, we have a release for, let me scroll here, PHP 5.4.37, which is basically about security-related fixes. And then there is also PHP 5.5.21 that has a regular set of fixes besides the security ones that may have applied to 5.4. And this includes several other fixes that are not security related. And also we had 5.6.5 release with also a very similar set of fixes. I don't think there are many new features being implemented, but this is the usual maintenance release. So about this, there is not really much to say. So we are going to move on to the next topic, which is about a call from Rasmus Lerdorf, the creator of PHP, to help testing PHP 7. As you may know, PHP 7 is being developed, but there are several features that were planned are already implemented, and you can help testing those features, because the sooner the developers get feedback, the sooner they start working on fixes of those bugs. So when the time comes, I think the planned release date is for October 2015. It was settled already some time ago. Of course, this is a tentative release date. We know that in practice things may get delayed, but that's the planned release time. And as I said, Rasmus is calling for everybody to help. So he has provided some Vagrant boxes that you can deploy and help in the testing of the PHP 7 as it is now. And well, personally, I never use Vagrant, but I understand it is a tool for deploying machines. Could be physical, could be virtual. You could use one of those virtual environments like VirtualBox and deploy it. And here Rasmus has provided more detailed instructions, so you can go there and let me scroll here. It's too large. Okay, and you can go here in the help testing PHP 7, the latest releases, and Hernani, have you ever used Vagrant to deploy any machines?
No, I have not yet. I've seen Vagrant being used in some places, but actually I've never had the chance to use it in a real development or deployment task. But I've seen, I've heard people using it, and it's quite, it helps on time-consuming tasks, as well as Puppet to manage packages and to apply fixes within a machine. So it is nice to see PHP participating on this scenario as well.
Yes, this is a tool that can be used to deploy many types of environment, not specifically for PHP, but it is useful. Personally, I did not have time to test PHP 7. I think it's too early. But I may have tried here in my local development environment just to see if it is working in a way that is much faster as it is expected, because most of the greatest improvements that are expected for PHP 7 are about speed and of course other features that have been requested for a long time, but speed is probably the improvement that will appeal more to the developers that may consider using it. So about that, there's not much more to say. And
it seems like it's a new feature, right? So may have lots of benefits, but since we haven't had the time to test it, we can't say much about it so far.
Yes, because many of the planned features are still being implemented, and I think for now is to test it on existing PHP applications. Yeah. So you can detect bugs. So it's not really to test the new features. It's just to prevent that the fixes that may be necessary for this new release are postponed. So the sooner they are done with the fixes, the better. So that's why Erasmus suggested that you test it with WordPress, Drupal, Moodle, any other platforms that are being widely used, so you can harden the bugs as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So given that, let's move on to the next topic, which is about new features being planned or voted already. One of those features, let me share the screen here, is one that has already been proposed, but it was not approved, or at least did not move on, which is to have scalar type hints. Type hints, as you may remember, are actually information that you can put on things like function parameters. So when you execute that code, the PHP verifies if the parameters being passed are of the types that are expected. This so far has been working for objects and arrays, but not for scalar types like int, integer, float, string, and bool. So this proposal, is yet another attempt to implement, to define an implementation for the way these type hints will work for scalar types, because the previous attempts were not accepted, did not move on. So this actually this proposal is quite complex. We are going to only give an overview of what it is about. For instance, you have here a class named Elephant, and it takes several parameters, one of each type. And if you call that class with the right parameters, it's all fine. So nothing will work. If the parameters do not match, there may be some type casting, depending on the case, depending on some options, or it may throw a fatal error. Actually, it will be a fatal exception. And then you will have this declare statement that you can restrict the section of the code on which the strict types will be evaluated. And this proposal is much more complex than this. I'm not going to enter in much details because even I'm not well aware of all the details, so it's better to not tell something that may be inaccurate, or else the police will accuse me for not being accurate. So anyway, what I was going to say about this is that the different parts of this proposal are being voted now at the time of this recording. So by the time this show is published, it may already have been finalized, the voting process. And there are several parts of this proposal. I'm going to just show you how the voting is going, because some votes on PHP require 2/3 to approve the proposal.
Right.
As you may notice, I've been scrolling this proposal quite far, and it ended only now. Well, there are several parts of this proposal that are being voted. Some parts seem to be approved, or seem that are going to be approved because they already have the necessary majority of the votes and yes, but other parts are not yet certain. Well, let's wait and see while this comes, because this is yet another attempt to pass a proposal for a similar feature of having type hinting. Well, type hinting, as you may be aware, it's sort of inspired on other languages that have strict typing. Hernani, you have been working with Java for a long time. Java is a more strict type language. You are so used with strict typing. Do you think any form of declaring types or having strict typing in PHP it's good, or maybe even if you have it, you would probably not use it?
Yeah, I think it can benefit several approaches. Let's say for declaring objects like in an ORM solution, it would benefit because then you can describe value objects or DTOs that can have specific types and can be used to serialize into a database table, or using a dialect class, which can then convert into SQL directly, not by guessing the data type that you're placing, or having the user specify which data type that field has in a sort of annotation or in a sort of different scenario. Since I've never seen Doctrine, how it is implemented, I don't know how do they specify the data types of a specific object that is retrieved and inserted into a database. But I bet that they have a sort of a description that matches between fields and the data types of those fields in order to translate.
Right,
to the database. So I think strict type would benefit into those scenarios. This is the first one which comes into my mind, and that enriches the whole PHP language by far. So I like to see that.
Yes, but in this case, strict typing is to verify if you are passing the correct types to the functions, or things like that. And
Imagine if you are constructing a DTO or a value object, and within that class constructor, you specify some specific data types to pass on. And then you can catch specific exceptions on that to avoid problems within the runtime. So I think it can benefit on that scenario as well, because you can then identify potential errors within PHP and not having to see if data was misinserted into the database table in a sort of way.
Yeah, but in this case, it's to verify if you are passing it's not to declare the types, it's just to verify if they are passed correctly. And if you just want to declare, you could put them in annotations or in comments like it is used today, because it seems the concern of those that are against type checking at runtime is that it will have overhead. Because unlike in Java, which is type checking is done at compile time, in PHP it is done in runtime, because it is a dynamic language. You cannot be sure of the types that are of values that are passed to functions, for instance. And in this case, I think the people that are against this are concerned that may impact the performance. But anyway, this is optional. If you can put the type ints there or not. If you are concerned with the performance, you just don't put them there. I think even if they are there, I'm not sure if the one of those declare options can disable them at runtime, so they do not impact the performance of a production environment. But well, anyway, do you think even impacting the performance that would be useful, or maybe it would not pay the performance penalty?
No, I think it can be used for TDD purposes as well, because you need to build some rich test cases, and by type checking things, of course your tests will fail more, but you will have the ability to build a better code. And yeah, I think that it can happen to cause overheads into a production environment. But of course, when you're benefiting from that checking, there is with every benefit comes something which is behind of it, and you may have to estimate the overhead causes, because it's a trade-off. You have to ensure that this is a good trade-off when you're implementing that in PHP. And given that this is a proposal to be approved, I would say caution, but it's nice to see the language enrich itself. And I'm always up for such thing. And of course, this is in the end, it's a choice of the developer to use it or not. So giving options is a good thing. If you know what you're doing,
Right. Well, let's see how this goes. This is yet another attempt to propose a feature like this. So let's see how the voting process comes out and what will be approved or not. So moving on with the next topic, let's talk about yet another proposal. This time a simpler one, and hopefully not as polemic as the type-eating one. This one is called combined comparison. They call it spaceship because they implement a new operator that it is like this. They say it looks like a spaceship. Basically, it will allow to compare two values. And if the first value is less than the second, it will return -1. If the two values are equal, it will return
0.
0, and if they are the second value is the first value is larger, so returns 1. And this is meant to be used, for instance, in callback functions for the sorting functions that PHP implements and allow to pass a callback function that will determine which element is ahead or behind in the final result of the comparison that is necessary to sort the elements, like using the uSort function. So I think this is useful. Let me see. I'm not sure if the voting already ended, but most people that are voting that voted in this proposal have voted for this feature. So it looks like it will become part of PHP server. I don't know, Hernan, if you have you been using any sorting functions that you need to pass a callback function to define how the values are sorted?
Yeah, I think I've done that before. I'm not sure if in Java or in PHP or in both languages, I can't recall. But those things saves time. Having to compare every single data in a complex way sometimes causes pain. And having that return either equal or different or greater than or lower than in a single operator to ensure that ordering stuff will happen in a great scenario, and not caring about data types because it can be used by floats, integers, strings, objects, arrays, whatever. It saves time for the developer. And sometimes deadlines are the crucial things. So whatever implementation that helps the developer to save time, at least on the first batch, on the first iteration, it is a good thing to have implemented. So I would probably vote into that to be implemented. I like what I see.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Now moving on to another topic. This time it is about, let me share the screen here. It's about an article that I wrote, but in reality it is about an initiative that I've been working on like for the last 3 months to make PHP classes responsive. I mean, adapted to look better on mobile sites. I mean, mobile devices. So the article, I have actually called it 10 tips to adapt PHP websites for mobile. And the article, first, it comments about why you should make your sites mobile friendly. Because in the last years, I have inquired users about if they would be interested to have a mobile-friendly version of the site, because most users access the site just to download stuff, so they are not in their mobile devices, they are in their desktop computers on which they used to work. But only a few users expressed any interest. And in practice, 92% of the users are accessing the site via desktop computers. So only 8% use mobile phones and tablets. But still, it was an increase from last year, and there were only 6%. So there is a trend, probably not so strong on this type of site, but many sites are nowadays more visited by mobile users than the desktop users. It all depends on the type of the site. So the idea is to make it mobile, but there was an additional factor this year because Google warned the sites that are not mobile friendly will suffer some kind of penalty. But anyway, the articles tell if you are going to make the site mobile friendly, do it for the users, not for Google.
Yep.
Actually, Google is encouraging webmasters to make their sites mobile just for the sake of the users. So if you do that effort, you'll benefit eventually from some traffic increase in the future. We don't know yet. Google does not pre-announce any updates. But Google in the last years have been making so much updates to their algorithms that are affecting the traffic that sites get that it's better to act ahead than wait for Google to do whatever are the changes that they want to perform on devices, I mean on their algorithms. So the motivation should always be to make better provide a better user experience for users.
Yeah,
and
since you within PHP classes you do have nice articles such as this one. People may be on their way to their home or on their way to their work, and they are getting emails from you, so they may want to read those articles, and they must have a good experience within their mobile devices, either a cell phone, a smartphone, or a tablet, and that is a trend. So I feel that if you provide useful information, if your website provides useful information to the user, it's better to have it mobile friendly and to have a mobile first strategy.
Yeah, and we don't know if the users with mobile devices were not coming to the site because it was not mobile friendly, or because they just do not access sites like this on mobile devices. So it's better to do this effort. And the idea of this article is to basically share what I learned on making these sites mobile friendly. Basically, there are 3 ways to implement a mobile friendly site. You can create an alternative mobile site and redirect mobile users there. Or you can implement what is called dynamic serving, which is basically the same URL serve different HTML depending on the user is in a mobile or not. And the third alternative is to implement a responsive approach, which is basically the same HTML for mobile users or non-mobile users, but there are some conditions like in media queries to adapt the content so it renders well on different screen widths. And basically that is what I've been sharing in this article. There's a fourth alternative, which is to build a mobile application dedicated to whatever is the device the user is using. But that is not really a mobile site. It's a totally different, new project, and but it is always a possibility that website owners should consider. In this case of PHP classes, I have developed a responsive approach because it is the one that takes less work, given that you already have a site. You are not starting a site from scratch. Going through the responsive approach is better better in terms of less work. Maybe, probably, it will not be the best user experience, but given that all these efforts take too much work, this is probably the approach that will get results sooner. So basically, this article, I wanted to present 10 tips to make a site responsive. So this is what strategy I followed, what I learned from it. Basically, I think if you have a large site, you probably need to start the work for the most visited pages, because all this work will take a lot of work, a lot of time, and you probably will not get results sooner that impact most of your users. If you do not have a strategy to start with the most visited pages. And the article gives all the information where you can learn about what are the most visited pages. It recommends also the Chrome or Firefox developer tools to preview your pages on small screens, so you can see how they look in those mobile devices. Then some information about adapting the viewport to the user screen, the mobile device screen size. Then once you have done this, you have to start the actual work of changing your HTML. First, you should start by your page header and footers because they are common in all pages, and if you start from there, you can impact your users sooner rather than later. Then it gives some hints about turning wide navigation bars into menu buttons, because some large navigation bars may not fit in small screens, so you can create menu buttons that show all the options when you click on the buttons. It also gives it teaches a sort of a trick that you can implement menu buttons without having JavaScript. You can use some checkboxes to toggle the menus to appear or disappear when you touch the menu buttons. Then I'll talk about what you should do when your whole information does not fit. You should start sacrificing less important information until the information you have fits on the screen. Then I talk about using a tool that Google provides, which is the Google PageSpeed Insights, to figure the pending issues that you need to fix. Because once you start fixing the mobile issues, you think you have your work done, but then you probably have missed something, and this tool, Google PageSpeed Insights, can help you to figure what was wrong. And then it starts also giving some hints about images, because sometimes images do not fit on smaller screens. You need to make them scale dynamically. So it teaches about some media queries that you can apply to reduce the images and keep the proportions. And also another tip that you probably will find in the complaints of the PageSpeed Insights, which is the padding around buttons and links. If two buttons are too close, the Google will complain, because the user may use his finger and hit the wrong link because the buttons were too close.
Yeah. You have
and
to,
then finally,
you have to care for pixel density and make sure that the user can tap a specific button. It's not that small.
But if you you don't need to do much. You just need to add enough padding around your elements, so they, if you have the links or buttons that they are too close. And then finally, use the Google Webmaster's mobile usability reports, because it gives you an idea of how many pages you have that are still missing. Here is a sample report of that report of Google Master Tools about mobile usability, and it tells you, in this case, at this date, there were almost 5,000 pages with errors, but then it starts reducing as you fix your bugs, so you have a good idea of how much work needs to be done. So basically, this is just to give several tips that I wanted to share with everybody that is working on adapting a site to make it render appear better, provide a better user experience on mobile devices. And then I don't know if you have, done any effort to convert any site to adapt to better to mobile devices. What do you think about these tips? Were there any tips that I missed that you thought would be important, or these would be enough?
No, I'm sure. I'm sure you've covered it all. There's also there's always a way to dive into CSS minification, JavaScript minification, but that goes to web development by itself. It doesn't cover mobile, and it assumes that you may have your page with the minimum contents and everything directed to CDNs or wherever possible, so you're not using too much, consuming some data back and forth. And I think you've covered it all. And you asked me if I've had to change or to adapt any websites on my side. I guess it cut it out here, so we may have a broken part. Yep. But now it's back. So what I was telling about is I've had the opportunity to build some prototypes using responsive design, as well as deploying websites using that approach by default. I have not had the need to change an existing project, because most of the projects I was involved on, it was a long time ago, or it wouldn't apply, or nobody asked me to rewrite it in a mobile-friendly manner. But that's the standard now, and everybody should care for it. And your article points to a great article when getting started with a mobile-first strategy.
Yeah, actually, this is not mobile first, because the site existed before it was mobile. Anyway.
Whoever has a website which is not yet mobile-friendly, or wants to begin a project or a website which should be mobile-friendly anyway, they should care for the points that you pointed out, and that is a valid information.
Right.
It may be more valid for someone who has already an existing website which doesn't contain mobile-friendly content and needs to go to the hassle of having to rewrite some portions of the website. But it is a complex post, and it gives you a lot of feedback on what to do and what to account for and what to pay attention for.
Right. This I hope it is useful, and I'm sure that many developers that are facing similar problem probably find some information useful here. On my part, it has been a painful effort, because it's a lot of work to do. There are many types of pages to adapt to mobile, and the work, it is not all done. It was done mainly on public pages that are visited from users once they arrive to the site, either from the search or not. But that was the priority. But to have the whole work fully done, it has to extend to all other pages of the site, and that still will give me some work. I'm a bit tired of this, I have to confess, because this is not exactly what I consider to be fun in terms of development. But it was a work that had to be done, and hopefully a few more weeks it will be done, and I will finally move on to other more interesting developments. Anyway, now we are reaching the end of the podcast, when it's time to start talking about the Innovation Award aspects of this of the past months. But this time we are going to start talking first of the Innovation Award winners of the year. Let me actually share the screen here just to talk about the winners. Well, in 2014, we had many contestants. They have sent over 100 innovative packages, but the winner was Ki Wang from France. Actually, he's not originally from France. France is where he lives now, but he sent 9 packages. He has sent many packages, many innovative packages, and for that he has won.
It is impressive to have one person submit 9 packages within the year, and those packages weren't just simple things. It contains a lot of nice work here, and I guess his efforts were awesome. And one point is he's living in France now, so he benefited France on the overall ranking. But yeah, I would say nice achievement. Kudos to Xi Wang.
And for that, he's going to win this nice trophy. Let me see if you are seeing it right. Well, this is a trophy for the Innovation Award winners. Everyone see there is the name here, the year, and he is the winner of the PHP Innovation Award. Other than that, he is going to also to get one of those elephants, which is a symbolic prize that winners get from the site for being the Innovation Award winners. I tried to invite him so he can come to the podcast, but it seems he had a problem with his notebook, so we could not participate because his webcam, he didn't have another computer with a webcam, and it's a shame, but I will still try to interview in a separate program or maybe by email. So there will be a separate post to talk about this. And other than that,
it would be awesome to have him also, here, right? It would be awesome.
Right, but well, not now, but maybe later if he can manage to fix his computer.
Yep.
Let's see how it goes. And other than that, there was also this year there was for the first time there was the Innovation Award Championship by country, which is to give an award to the winners of the country that accumulate more points throughout the year. So in this case, the country that accumulated more points was Italy, with 10 packages and 75 points. Congratulations to everybody from Italy. There was like seven winners. I have a list here: Orazio Prince, Ettore Moretti, Michele Locati, Luca Pacciarota, Enrico Anello, Michele Andreoli, and there's somebody who calls himself JStar88. I don't know what is his real name actually. All these winners were already contacted because they will be one of these trophies. They are very similar. Let me show them here. Okay, this is the winner. This is the special trophy for the Innovation Award winners by country. So they will get one of these by mail. There's the symbol of Picasso here, and then the symbol of the award. And I hope that they will get these awards by mail soon. I'm still waiting for some of them to send me their postal addresses. So they also will win one of those elephants. Each of them will win one elephant. So soon, this trophy just arrived today. soon they will get them by mail, postal mail. So now for JavaScript Innovation Award, we also add the same award. I could not fit all the trophies here, but they also have a trophy. In this case, Thomas Björk from Sweden. He won the Innovation Award, so he's going to get one of these. And then there are 4 winners that won the Innovation Award by countries. In this case, it was France that won. So they will get a trophy like this.
And of course, they were benefited by Shihorn, which was the major contributor.
Yes, Kiwan also participated in the JS classes, so kudos again for him. For in this case, he helped France to win. I think probably France would win by himself. There are not many contributors in JS classes as there are in the PHP classes. Anyway, this is just to mention. I will post a separate article just to talk about these awards, and if I can record a separate interview with the winners, I'll try to do it. Or else they have an interview by email. Now let's talk about the actual Innovation Award nominees that we've been talking past months. In this case, we are going to talk about first the JavaScript Innovation Award. Let's talk about the winners of November. Let me increase this font here. Okay. So Hernani, which ones would you like to comment this month, November?
Right. I've handpicked some layers here on the PHP classes. So let me share my screen, and I'll let you guys know.
No, this first the JS classes.
Okay. So the JS classes would be two components. Apparently this one haven't increased the font, so I'm zooming in. It's from Jimmy Bow from Canada. The name of the classes is JavaScript Css Generator. It is used to generate CSS styles dynamically, as the description tells. And to me, this is a nice component because if I'm implementing a solution where I can, given that the user is logged in, he can customize the looks of the web interface that he's actually logged into. He can save that preferences by manipulating colors, font sizes, etc., that suits him better. And that gives customization, so it's a nice component. And it saves time to implement such thing and actually to test it. It's a way to go for Jimmy Bow. The other components. Oh yeah.
The prize.
Yeah, just I just forgot. And by the way, Jimmy has won, as far as I can tell, a prize. On every innovation award winner, they can pick a specific prize, and he chose one book by choice of Pact Publishing. So I guess he will even increase his knowledge on a technical subject. Unfortunately, I can't tell which book he picked on, but hopefully it's CSS related, so we can have better. Even more nice components by CSS from him. And moving to the next one. This one is a webcode cam. It's called webcode cam. It's a barcode and QR code scanner Jquery plugin. Basically, this is a canvas-based plugin. So it can take canvas elements and makes it to show the image of the webcam, and then it can detect and scan values of a barcode or QR code. So it can be used to scan invoices, barcodes, product codes. So that is a nice component to see going on. I'm not sure if it works and performs really great, because this is early adoption, I would say. But it's a nice component to see going on, and I'm sure that it can be improved in later. But it can be used within the demand that if your website is running HTML5, it can be used to scan barcodes if you have that necessity within your project. So way to go to Andras Toth. He's from, I'm not sure if I pronounced his name correctly, but he's from Hungary. And by the way, I've never seen somebody from Hungary before here, so it's nice to see Hungary here. So it's nice to see that at least two winners from Hungary, as I can see here on the page. So it's nice to see everybody from all around the world contributing as well to JS classes. And by the way, Andras, he picked one downloadable ebook choice of Orion. And unfortunately, I don't know which book he handpicked, but hopefully it is HTML5 related and Canvas based. So he can even contribute to more components within the JS classes website.
Yeah. Well, on my behalf, I would like also to comment a couple of components.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me start first. This JavaScript initial Avatar Creator, which is a package from Artur Sosnes from Latvia. Unfortunately, Artur is usually been hosting this podcast too, but he had a strong cold and we could not make it. Let's see if I can make it for the JavaScript hangout soon. I wish him well. But anyway, he submitted an interesting package that creates avatars from the initials of the names of somebody. So he takes the name of somebody and creates pictures with those initials. It's simple but effective. For instance, if you have a site that on which you want to show an image that represents the user, and the user has not provided the image, you can use an avatar that is made of his initials. So kudos for his contribution, but in this case he did not pick a prize. So next nominee, it's Mehdi Safavi from Iran. He contributed a package named FlyMe, and this one is to scroll smoothly. For instance, you have a link that is an anchor to another section of the page. You can click on that link, and instead of jumping directly to there, it will scroll smoothly as if it was a flying to that position. So I've
seen some websites using parallax scrolling, which I'm not sure if that is actually the effect. But
that's not.
Yeah, because parallax mimics, it mixes 3D. It's sort of a depth. It has a depth perception thing. But actually, the parallax scrolling may use a smooth scroll component, which can be, this can be of help, right? So maybe combined with the parallax class, this can be evolved into another component.
Yeah, in the case it is just to scroll pages to the right position, so it is a simpler thing. It's not like parallax that you need to have multiple depths of backgrounds and foreground planes, but I think there was a class for already for parallax scrolling. This one just for simple thing, and kudos to Mehdi Safari for his contribution. So now we are going to move on to the Innovation Award winners of November, but this time for the PHP classes site. Arthur's, Ernie, I've been so used to ask Arthur to comment on packages like this month that I even confused you. Ernie, which ones would you like to comment?
Yeah, I've handpicked some of them in order of preference, and I will start commenting. The name of the component is PHP Avatar Generator. It is a creator of avatar images from parts of users' faces. So basically, you can pick a model of your mustache or your eyes or your mouth. I'm not sure if it has a head shape, but it's actually a good solution when you don't want to have pictures of users within your website, so you can at least give an avatar to that user. And the creator of this component is Puya Sabramuz. Hopefully I've mentioned his name correctly. He's from Iran, and congratulations to him. And by winning this contest, I'm not sure if he was the winner,
Yes.
but yeah, I guess he was the November 2014 winner. So he got one downloadable copy, one downloadable ebook choice by O'Reilly. It seems that O'Reilly is a favorite amongst both JS classes sites and PHP classes. Huh? It's nice to see that O'Reilly is doing as a favorite here.
Yes.
Yeah, but
many users like O'Reilly books.
Yep, it's nice to see that. So moving forward, I've liked to see this comment, this specific class, because it does a lot of hassle-free things. It does dump table in chunks. So whenever you have the need to compact a database table into specific chunks of bytes, you can use this component to do a table dump of MySQL. And I've been using MySQL in many years, and I'm sure that eventually I will need such components. So congratulations to the author. His name is Ovidiu Lezei. Hopefully I mentioned his name correctly. He's from Romania. I like to see people from Romania here. I don't see much of them here, but I'm sure that Romania is a strong country in PHP classes. So the prize was one downloadable copy of PHP Editor Professional. So he may be using Windows version probably. So it's nice to see Windows developers as well on the PHP classes.
On my behalf, I would like to also comment a few components. Let me share the screen here. First, I'll start by this one. That is called PHP Database Scene. Basically, this is a package that can synchronize tables of different databases, but this one specifically uses PDO because there are many packages to synchronize databases, but this one is sort of database agnostic, so it can work with different databases, not just packages, not just databases like those that are more frequently used, like MySQL, which in the case is there was also a request in the package request sections that asked for a database sync class that would work with other databases, not just between MySQL databases could be mixed database types. So this one was developed by Jacob from the United States, and for this he picked a prize which is a copy of the Commodore IDE. And next that I would like to comment is another package that was also requested. This one is PHP MySQL User Management by Mike Grubel from Germany. And there was a user also requested a package that would be for managing MySQL user accounts. It's not managing records of any users. It's the users that can have access to MySQL databases. So this package can do many operations like listing, adding, modifying, removing MySQL users from the actual user accounts in the MySQL database server. So congratulations for Mike Grubel, and for this he picked. Actually, he did not pick a prize. Sorry. But moving on to the next package, PHP time parse to timestamp is a package developed by Wop Morgan from Russia. What this class does is to take dates in natural language and convert them to timestamps. There were actually classes. I think you can do that with PHP, but only for English. So this package goes farther because it supports different languages like Russian, English, French, German, Chinese, and Spanish. So congratulations to Wop Morgan for his contribution. It is very, very interesting. And for that, he picked a prize, which is one license of the IP to country database that is provided by IP to location.
Which is a huge thing when you're building analytics-based application. It really helps track down when people start coming to your website.
Yes, it is interesting that there are several authors that also pick that prize, so it is useful for them in their projects. So the next package that I would like to comment is PHP Content Security Policy Generator, which is a package, in this case developed by Tom Postma from the Netherlands, that can generate headers for your HTTP headers that define security policies that your browser will comply. And this is a very, very in-depth security topic. But if you are onto security, and every developer should be onto security, you should take a look at components like this that help preventing certain types of security attacks. And for this, Tom picked a prize, which in this case was a book of choice by Pact. And another package that I wanted to comment in this case is PHP split number. So it takes a long number with many digits and it splits it in an array of smaller parts according to certain rules that it defines. And this is a sort of unusual package that you get here, but for that it was considered innovative. And kudos to Anthony Rogers from the United Kingdom that submitted this package, and for that he picked a subscription of the PHP Architect magazine. And finally, my last package that I want to comment is one that also unusual, PHP MTOM SOAP server, which is basically a specification that is part of the SOAP specification for transferring binary data over SOAP requests. the SOAP requests, as you may know, they are made of XML, and in this case, it is able to extract binary data from that uses this MTOM recommendation, and so it decodes the message from the binary data from the SOAP request, so it can be used as for instance, as a file. So congratulations to Cledson Diaz from Brazil for this submission, and for that he picked one copy of CodeLobster Professional ID. And on my part, I comment all. I think, Ernie, you were about to also comment about a couple of packages, right?
Oh yes, I have two more packages to comment on. I was just looking at PHP Add and the editor, and they have both Linux and Mac OS X capabilities by using Wine. So.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
It's emulated.
Yeah, it's not the best way to emulate your IDE, but if you're like me, missing out the Windows field sometimes, you can use that, and I'll give it a try. And maybe on the next event, on the next podcast, which I'm here, I'll comment back on. So yeah, now moving forward to the two packages that I really liked. Is the package that is called Traducage PHP PO file generator. So it converts local CSV files to PO files and send it to Traducage. I'm not sure about Traducage.com, but I think it's a translation repository, as the user explains here. But it can be used by any applications using getText libraries in PHP to benefit from translation files. So if you're building a multi-locale based application, that is a nice component to look around. The author is Patrick José Luis Lazo. Patrick José Luis Lazo from Spain, and I guess Spain was a huge competitor on the PHP classes country ranking.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see.
Yes, there are several countries that did very well, not just Italy that won, but several others.
Since you began the prices for countries, the ranking for countries, Spain has caught up a lot.
Yeah. Yes. Well, Spain went to the 5th place, so they did not win because the other countries did better, like United States, France, Iran, and Italy that won. But they did well. 5th place is still a great place, and I hope this year already they continue to submit great packages so they can compete for the Innovation Award winner country.
Really nice.
Okay. And
really nice. And then the next one, which is the last one. Oh, by the way, yeah, I forgot the price. Let me just recall on that price thing. I just closed my tab, so I'll have to reopen it. As far as I recall, he got. Oh wait.
It's below. Need to scroll.
Yeah, the PHP Storm, which is one IDE which I love about, and they have Mac support as well. So yeah, kudos to him. He is now the proud owner of PHP Storm, which is a really, really nice IDE. And I guess it's based on IntelliJ IDEA or something like that.
Yeah, it's from the family of similar tools.
To JetBrains, right?
Right.
Which is now, Android Studio, which is something which I've been involved with a lot these days. Yeah. It's now the official IDE for Android, so it's also based on JetBrains IDE. So it's nice to see if you're programming to Android and PHP all together, you can benefit from PHP Storm. So it's a nice user experience. And yeah, now the last one, which is PHP Doc and Docx and PDF to text converter. So if you have a Word file, both old versions of the doc format or the Docx, which is the newest formats of a Word file or a PDF file, this library can help you extract the text from those files. So imagine you're scanning for files and you're looking for specific word matches, and you need to have a set of files to look for. Imagine you're searching for a resume database and you're looking for the name or a particular name of a person. You can benefit from this component, which can be a huge value add on your web page. So the author of this component is Aditya Sakar. So saying it again, Aditya Sakar from India. And India is a long time country here in PHP classes. I haven't seen much from India lately, but it's nice to see that at least one person won. Am I being not fair, or am I being fair?
No, India always had many nominees, and actually they did rank well. They rank in 8th with 5 packages, but other countries did better. So it's not that they did not do well. Just once you are in a competition, everybody tries to do better, and let's see if India also can do better in 2015.
Yeah, and the price that he picked up of his choice was on a VS-PHP, which is a component for Visual Studio. So he's a Windows user, and he likes Visual Studio apparently. I just hope that he has memory on his machine, because I've heard that Visual Studio eats a lot of RAM. But I don't know. That's what I've heard. I cannot tell that if it's true or not. But I like to see that somebody is using Visual Studio to code for PHP, which is which proves that PHP is everywhere, right?
Right.
Windows users, Linux users, whoever is whatever is there. OS, they are using PHP to at least develop or deploy. And it's nice to see that the Microsoft ecosystem is accepting PHP adopters in a friendly fashion. So congratulations to that.
Yes, VS-PHP is an extension of Visual Studio, and they can run more integrated with Visual Studio and do whatever PHP debugging.
Especially if you're using .NET for some specific situations, it's nice to see that you are, in fact, benefiting from the whole Windows ecosystem without having to, use a different IDE or whatever. So it's nice to see that going on.
Yeah. So, with this, we practically reached the end of this podcast. We comment a lot of interesting topics. We focus also a lot on the PHP Innovation Award prize of the year 2014, and the 2015 edition is already going on. We already had nominees in January, and we continue to have in February and other months. I hope that more and more authors who can join, so they can win nice prizes like this, nice trophies like this. So which is a nice symbol for their hard work. In this case, this one was won by Q1 that sent 9 packages. Practically all months he sent.
That's a rare. That's a rare prize.
An innovative package. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a rare prize.
Exactly, this is specific to the Innovation Award of PHP classes, so only submitting the package to PHP classes, you can win, be nominated for being innovative and win not only the trophy but also the elephant. So with this, we practically ended.
Will you have a special trophy by year, the year winner? Or it's just for now it's the trophy is the innovative trophy, or do you have a specific for the year?
No, this one is for Q1 is for the winner of 2014. So
oh, great! So
it's not arbitrary.
You cannot win that one anymore. The only one you can seek for is the 2015 one, right?
Right, that's all about the past. So past year was 2014. Now 2015 is already started, and everybody can submit innovative packages, not only to PHP classes, but also to JS classes. Okay, you can win one of these.
Awesome.
Okay.
So it's a really unique prize. I hope
yes,
I have the time.
It's a symbolic prize. It's a symbolic prize, and I appreciate it. Yes, some I only got these trophies today, so most of nominees did not see the actual trophy they will get. I hope they appreciate it because they are quite nice. But one thing I'm sure you will appreciate, because many of them told me they were excited to get, is the elephant, because it's quite unique. This is not a regular elephant. This is a specific elephant made for the PHP classes site, and you can only get it from the PHP classes site. So with this, you practically ended this podcast. I would like to thank you, Hernani, for coming. I took you out from your wedding preparations. But, it's always great to have you here to give your insights, and I hope you can come in future editions as well.
Thank you.
So on my behalf.
Yep, please go ahead.
No, so on my behalf, that is all for now. So it's up to you to say what you have to say in the final.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for being here with us. First of all, we wouldn't make it without the PHP classes users and watchers. So I hope you guys liked. You can always comment on which features should we improve, or should either of us improve on. We accept criticism if they are constructive, and I hope to be here again soon. And I thankfully say to Manuel, thank you for having me here, and it's always a pleasure.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.